Hi guys, welcome back to another timeless reading. I'm filming this in the early morning of Sunday, December the 17th. No, that's incorrect. 16th. I'm one day ahead. I jumped a day ahead on my calendar. 2024. Again, timeless reading. When it finds you, take what resonates. Retrograde is finishing. I feel like this is the next cycle. I don't feel like this, or it could be the full moon, which is later this evening. Finding balance, which makes a lot of sense. Retrograde ending. So with the moon card, if it'll focus. I'm having problems with my phone. There we go. So finding that balance, restoring a balance. I was still doing personal readings. If anyone. There's some spots left. They're limited because we're celebrating our Christmas and Hanukkah's coming up, so that'll be a lot. Empress. And bonus card is Justice. So getting some, Libra energy. We are in the air sign of Gemini for the full moon. It's kind of like two-sided, but you gotta watch those thoughts. I definitely have had, I don't know if this is reminiscent of last year when we were moving. I'm just gonna pull that back a little bit further, but this is from the Golden Foil Tarot cards. I got this from, I believe it was Ali. I got this from AliExpress. I believe at that time, if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong, it was $28. Maybe it was $20. Would have to recheck. I haven't ordered off of Ali in a minute because orders didn't work out, so I just stopped. But a really nice deck, investment deck, definitely, very beautiful. Like I said, I told you guys, I'm not a gatekeeper, for a very long time, especially when I really accepted my abilities. Like it says in spiritual books, those that can see, let them see. Those that can hear, let them hear. Take what you will with for that, but I feel like where you put your energy is where you will flourish. So I feel like with the Ace of Swords especially, they're talking about karma, we're talking about this balance, and I feel like they're saying, if you are on the right side of things, you will be the victor wearing the wreath. You know what I mean? This is a time of being charitable, being kind, just smiling, you know what I mean? If you can only give $5, give $5. If you can't give right now, the universe sees that. This 39% business, don't listen to any of that. You know what I mean? What you believe in, if you don't even believe in anything but yourself, is judging by your heart. We know right from wrong. I was watching Tribal Trails yesterday, and it's like, even if you obey the laws and in your heart that it's right, Shane didn't believe in. I think he believed in something bigger than us. I just don't know what that extent would be. From our conversations, I don't think he did, but I don't think he's gone to a bad place. I know he hasn't gone to a bad place. I just, again, we're judged by our heart. But I feel like, as you're moving into the new year, you know what I mean? If you're feeling bad or guilty or, you know what I mean? You're carrying the weight of things. I feel like a lot of us are releasing a lot. This is the time of release with the full moon, but I feel like with retrograde, leaving the things behind that affected us in a poor way. It's time to step forward. It's time to leave things behind. Come on. So every time I film, Sunny is always up. Playing with the toy. Here we go again. Playing with the toy or something. With the Queen of Wands, how you're seen, how you're perceived. You know what I mean? I feel like, for the most part, a lot of us that have this ability, you know what I mean? And use it for the right reasons, sit there and aren't seen this way. We don't see ourselves this way. The world sees us this way. We just sit there and do what we're called to do. You know what I mean? I just saw, she's a gospel singer. She sang for Martin Luther King. Robin Roberts was the executive producer on it. And I wish I could remember how to pronounce her name. But, she even said that, she used her gift for what she felt she was called to do. You know what I mean? So I feel like what is meant to be yours is already yours. We keep saying like signs and affirmations of that. You probably have seen signs of things coming in, hands being itchy, but for myself, anxiety has been very heavy. And there's nothing to be anxious about. And I feel like this is where you allow your higher self or your guardian angels or your loved ones that have, transformed to come in and just be like, don't worry about it, It's like you're doing everything in the situation that you can. I feel like it's just because, with myself, feeling this anxious and, kind of lost, it's just like, things will turn out. And I feel like it's a lack of sleep. I definitely have this sinus issue going on. So it's just a little bit of everything, I feel like it's just being as kind as possibly as you can to yourself right now. I know it's easy to give into, darker things, thoughts, you're not doing good enough, you're not good enough, you know what I mean? Gloom and doom is going to happen. I feel like live every moment to the fullest, because we're not going to live this moment again. You don't feel like going places. It's like, you know what I mean? Try to do it. If you go and especially like, this time of year, we don't feel like going to loved ones' places because maybe we don't see eye to eye on things. Maybe just go for dessert then. Still show up. If you don't feel like spending a whole time with them, like dinner and dessert, then just go for dessert. Make it short. I'm sorry I have another engagement to get to. Let them know ahead of time so they know. Don't be mean about it. Just say like, sorry I have a prior engagement. I can make it for dessert if that's okay. I'll come for coffee and dessert. Spend a couple hours. Maybe you end up spending more time there because you built up this, the shadow side builds up here. I feel like, with the energy intense of the full moon, this pre-full moon energy, I feel like that's where a lot of our anxiety is coming in through. Or it's feeding a lot of the shadow side. It's easy with this time of year to build up negative innuendos. Or things will not turn out. But it's just like, you're a hard worker. Sometimes it's just because you're tired. You're exhausted. You just need some sleep. And you're like, well, I've been getting sleep. Well, with myself, it's like, I'm not getting sound sleep. So when you're able to get that sound sleep, be thankful, Ask Yahweh, Yeshua, or whomever you believe in, Gaia, Mother Earth, Creator, to help you get some sound sleep. With myself, I've been getting channel messages. I don't want to shut down those channel messages. I want them to keep coming in, So it's like when things start to turn, or you're not having dreams that that you want to have about certain people, or certain demons, ask them to help you to keep those away, We don't want that to be a part of our life. I love the fact with the Queen of Wands, and just because the card is a queen, it doesn't mean, it's just highlighting the fact of who you are and how you're seen. You light up a room. You mean a lot to a lot of people. You're intuitive. Give it into your intuition. I just finished doing a reading for someone, and they were talking about her putting her oracle deck in her desk at work, and it's like she's got this type of atmosphere where when between her work, she has some time for herself, and she feels drawn to pull from her oracle deck. It's like, pull from your oracle deck, make it your sanctuary. Try to make it as comfortable as possible, as welcoming as possible, so it's an environment you would want to be in. Sometimes we feel certain ways and about our job, and it's just like, at the end of the day, it pays the bills. Sometimes it shouldn't feel that way, but unfortunately sometimes it does. Hopefully it goes back to that energy where you want to be there again and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of us are just run down. Just need a woosah, need a break. Some of you are able to take a vacation during Christmas. Take that time to take that vacation. Sleep, nap, do whatever you need to do. We have the Nine of Pentacles. I love this because it's a rebirth. And, this is what the beautiful thing about, for what we follow, like our New Year celebrated it early in the fall, I feel like a lot of us still feel that, kind of rebirth, this change, that transformation of how the year. I don't feel like it's at the beginning of like New Year's Eve. I feel like, yes, it is a benchmark. It is marked like that. But I feel like, once it's like after Chinese New Year and stuff like that, I feel like that's when the New Year is, to be 100%. I feel like that's when you feel this change. I feel like it's kind of getting back into the groove. We go into the wolf full moon, in January, and it's just like calling back in your tribe. Who are the people? I posted that on Friday. It's like Khloe Kardashian posted it, and she was just like, where you find your heart, where it makes you happy, you have found your treasure. A lot of us, when I pull like abundance cards, yes, abundance, and a lot of people, especially nowadays, that means financial, gain, which is great because, it helps you not to worry so much. It takes the anxiety away. It takes away that burden away. You know what I mean? And when I mean burden, I mean like if you have financial debts, you know what I mean? It gives you some room to breathe. So I feel like it's just like, abundance comes in many shapes and forms. For some of us, it's a new home is what they're saying. For some of us, it's a new fur baby. I know a lot of people, it's retrograde. I know some of us have said goodbye to our beloved fur babies, and I'm really sorry about that. Like, it's your baby. Like, especially if you're a parent, it's like saying goodbye to one of your children. It's not easy, And I feel like when they're showing this rebirth in life, it's like, there's many beautiful things coming to light. Like, I have some bulbs there. So one of the ones that will be in full bloom by Passover is starting to bloom right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it is winter. So maybe you should get some plants like that kind of bloom and come to life. The Christmas cactus in full bloom in the wintertime. Things that sit there and bloom and give you hope and happiness. If you kind of get the blues around the wintertime, if you're able to, maybe you're not an outdoor person, open up your windows. Just sit there with your eyes closed and let the sunshine just come right onto you. It's good if you could get out in the fresh air because a lot of the time, you got the heat on in the house, and it's good to get into the fresh air. If you're able to on the warmer days, go for a walk. So I feel like, there is some people that are going to, winter time's also known for, having, our babies later in the year. So, like August, July, August, September, October, are getting into our later summer, early fall months. So I feel like in that way, I feel like cardinals, they're mentioning cardinals, and I feel like it's just a sign. Maybe that's going to be a sign of a pregnancy around you. You're just walking and just out of nowhere, a cardinal comes across your path. I love what the full moon here. So it could be the full moon into the crescent moon here. That the cycle of being equal. It's a wake-up call maybe. It's just like, kind of brushing you out of what you've been going through. You've kind of been in your head or things have been going your way, and it's just like, of course it is. You know what I mean? Of course that this is happening, But, saying goodbye to people, places, things, it's not easy, it's hard, and it kind of, get you down when you're saying goodbye to a lot of people. But, where you're heading towards, a lot of us are coming into 2025 as a brand new chapter, as a brand new beginning, as us coming into what we all these trials and tribulations we've gone through is what we were getting ready for. Preparation, that we went through these situations. In my eyes, I know Yahweh Yeshua got me through that. That I'm just speaking for myself. Whatever your truth is and what resonates with you, is what pulled you through. I feel like the Empress, I feel like it's like having patience. I feel like, because she is ruled by Venus, I feel like self-love, very Libra energy, going back to like the sword, the Ace of Swords there, Victor wearing the wreath. Again, with like they're showing the belly of giving birth, so you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Empress highlighting this. But I also feel like it's just like, be kind to yourself. This new era, this is what I could see in my mind's eye is the words new era, this new precipice of going into things. I feel like someone will be sharing more wisdom. Sitting down. This gives me very much Sylvia Brown energy, where she would sit down on the stage and she would just talk with people, doing readings or sharing stories or wisdom, you know what I mean? Very Sylvia Brown energy I get from that. We're going to end with justice here, again with this balance. We're getting a lot of how to equal out the balance, how to equal out your life, One part isn't going well, let's find a part that we can bring in happiness. Watch some comedies on TV. Get yourself laughing, A lot of great Christmas movies on there. Maybe you're like myself and have a hard drive and you could go back and, as a family watch some great movies. Kids are heading into, break. College kids we're off since Friday. Some of the kids are in school this week, or they're doing like theme days all the week, watching movies. Some of the kids are already like heading out with their parents because they're traveling, or they're going to like, destinations for Christmas. But I feel like with justice, it's just like, again, with that Libra energy, starting with it, we're ending it with that air energy. Feeding our mind positive, good things. Drinking your water. Meditation. I definitely need to do a meditation. But it's just like grounding ourselves right now. I feel like walking in nature is grounding yourself. Me and my mom talk about this all the time. I always thrive when I'm in the outdoors. We go for walks and stuff. It just makes me feel a certain way. When I'm gardening, it makes me feel a certain way. You just got, you don't know why, but you're just thankful for feeling that energy. The endorphins you feel, the positivity you feel, the blood's flowing, I feel like the wintertime we kind of get stagnant, or we just kind of like sit in a sitting position, so we're not moving as much. It looks like someone is taking a swim class. This is an elder person, so it looks like you're signing up for classes to like, just because it's, easier on your joints and everything like that. They're wearing a swim cap if you're worried about your hair, but they're showing like a swim cap and going into the pool and being mobile. I feel like it's, make the most out of winter. They were talking about that earlier when I had a little bit more time to pull cards, but I feel like just be kind for yourself. And, if you're like that person I was reading for, she's a really good friend of mine, and it's just like, she's like a soul sister to me. It's just like, just sit there and, if you feel compelled to have an oracle card around your bed or in an area that you frequently sit on, sit there and, make time and just be in the energy and pull some cards for yourself. Don't get obsessive with it, because you pull it every day or 4 or 5, 6 times a day. That's when the messages get, combobulated. But if you feel drawn to pull for it, go right ahead. What resonates, maybe you're going to keep a book. Maybe you need to purge your feelings. Keeping a journal. Maybe you don't feel safe keeping it around the home, so maybe you sit there, you write it all out, and you sit there and you rip it all up and you go throw it down the garbage chute is what they're showing. Or if you have, there's a garbage bag in the kitchen or something like that, they're showing like coffee grounds and stuff like that, throw it in there and go and discard it, so no one has to read what you're letting go of. But I feel like just don't be so hard on yourself. Do every single day. I read that recently. I think I posted. I can't remember if I did. If not, I'll probably post it later this week. But it's just like, just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean it's a bad life. We're having a bad couple of days. Certain events happen. It doesn't mean that life is bad. It just means we're going through, unfortunately, a cycle where, it calls upon our higher strength of stuff, our stronger will, and it's exhausting. So you feel exhausted, so if you're able to find time to sit there and sleep or naps are very important. You feel drawn to take a nap, go take a nap if you can. You'll feel a lot better for it. You'll thank yourself for it. I know sometimes it's like, oh, I could have done this and this. I feel like that too. It's like, instead of napping, I could get this done. But sometimes, especially this time of year, the kids have been in school and everything like that. It's just, everything's winding down to break. Be kind to yourself. You would be that kind to your parents, to your kids, to a stranger. Be that kind to yourself. The longest relationship you will have in this life, if you are a spiritual person, is with who you have faith in, and yourself. So be kind to yourself. You cannot pull from an empty cup. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next timeless reading.